Hey everyone, my name is Kayla Brown, and I chose to do my research project on Nazi human experimentation. My thesis for this project was Nazi human experimentation and its implications on World War II, why Nazi scientists conducted these tests, how it impacted those who were tested on, and how these tests changed the war. So, the first topic that I want to cover is the types of experiments that were conducted during this time. And some of those experiments were placing individuals in freezing water, low pressure chambers to test high altitudes, injecting individuals with infections, testing on twins, injecting individuals with poison, sterilizing them, and also conducting bone, muscle, and joint transplants. These individuals were tested and they were tortured, beaten, operated on, forced to undergo this testing against their will, and oftentimes these tests resulted in death. And if they didn't die due to the testing, they were often killed, just so they didn't have to be dealt with any longer. Um, I wanted to show you all some pictures that I did not include in my presentation of some of these tests. So this first image is an individual who is undergoing a freezing water test. And this test was done so that if Nazi soldiers were left out in water over time or if they were exposed to hypothermia, they wanted to know how long they could be exposed to these elements and exposed to hypothermia without succumbing to that illness. So they tested for the advancement of the Nazi military with freezing temperatures. They also conducted tests on prisoners and individuals in low pressure chambers, which equated to high altitudes. So they conducted these tests to determine how Nazi soldiers would do if their planes were shot down, to determine if they would be able to survive falling with a lack of oxygen. So this individual actually blacked out during this testing and this experiment, and there's also a photo of them there. And another test they conducted was a seawater test. So these individuals were injected with seawater, also again to determine if Nazi soldiers could learn over time how to intake seawater and use that when fresh water was not directly available to them. So, ways that these tests changed the war are that Nazi soldiers were given better opportunities to survive different situations, such as being ejected out of planes, being introduced to diseases and infections, and facing harsh elements. Other individuals that were tested on were tested for Nazi advancement of the perfect race. So, individuals such as twins, those who were mentally or physically disabled, were tested on, and those who were outside of the perfect German Aryan race. So these individuals were tested on due to the fact that they were seen as undesirable and imperfect. Um, and so they wanted to determine what genes inside of them did not carry that desired trait to perfect the German race. So this was just a little recap of my research project. Um, I hope that introduced you all to a little bit more knowledge about what happened during this time. And I hope you enjoyed the pictures that I included this time. Thanks.